Si wewe.
Koja tu. Acha ongee kwanza. Sema kile nilikuwa nasema.
Kevo.
Ongea na Kevo.
Kevo. Niaje?
Ngoja acha na record video. Ulisema uliona nani?
Niliona Oscar, mtu anakaa kama Oscar akiruka hapo.
Akiruka hapo? Na hiyo kitu.
Ulimwanda.
Ngoja Lingmondi.
Giniana kwanyo kai. Kawoki ginene yenga. Na woki barion. Sikudanganya sana.
Ngoja Ritmondi.
Ningekuwa ni mimi naweza kuletea Austin.
Unaona? Wacha nikwambie kuna mtu wa dawa amekuja hapa saa hii. Na ameniambia natoka tu hivi nitaona result. No, hata jafika kagocho sani.
Wadanganya haki ya Mungu.
Sasa tuende kwa Oscar.
Twende kwake, si mimi lakini. Si mimi.
Ngoja Ritmondi. Acha uongee na Kevo.
Good morning guys, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. This area it's around 10 something. It's around 10:52. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you're watching this video from. You're welcome to my YouTube channel. To the returning subscribers, thank you so much for your love and support. To the new subscribers or the new visitors, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. It's really been an amazing week. If it's your first time to come across this channel, kindly check my previous videos. I've just moved into my unfinished house. This is the state of the house actually. As you can see, there's nothing. I'm sleeping on the floor. But this guy never spreads his bed. Yeah, so in my previous videos, we'll just catch up with time. I'll just get to buy things slowly by slowly. Maybe start with a bed, utensils, slowly by slowly. By the end of the year, or maybe even if it will take more than a year, just so long as I have a roof over my head, I'm really grateful for that milestone. So in my previous videos, I've been telling you that I'll tell you a story of how somebody stole my Starlink. For that reason, let me just take you out there so that you can see, so that you can get to understand how the story really is, or how it went. So it's around 3 or 4 weeks ago. It happened around 3 or 4 weeks ago. And the funny thing is, the boy who stole my Starlink is somebody who used to work here. This house is incomplete. It's still being under construction. There's so many stuff that have not been done. So I've been used to hiring youths here around this area to work for me. And the boy who stole that Starlink is one of them. And when I'm talking about stealing the Starlink, I mean this receiver, this one here. So that boy, let me just give you a little story of how it happened. That one there, I can't be able to zoom enough because this is a GoPro. I don't know if there's a way to zoom video, but or an image, but that's how it is. So that boy, my first time or my first encounter with him, he came here to look for a job. That time we had not planted grass around this area that we are seeing here. So I was doing a little bit of landscaping on this area around the well. This is where I have my well, and planting grass. So we had to plow the whole of this area first, then try to level it, so that after that one is when we plant the grass. This is the grass that we planted. You can see they are catching up, but this area is not that intact. You can see the patches of grass. It's not that intact as down there. If you look at here, this area is now intact. There's grass all over. It's really doing, including the other side. So it's when this area is coming up, like the grass is getting to spread well. So that's the first time he came here, and there were around 7 boys that were supposed to work here. So when he came, I hadn't known, or I didn't know that bad character of him, like that he's a thief, in short, simply put. So the other 6 boys already knew, because it's like this boy or this thief has been stealing from his dad for a very long time, and his dad has been complaining, and people knew in the village. But I'm new to this place, so I didn't know that that's how this guy, that's his habit, stealing is his habit. So these guys were telling me that they don't want to work with him, and I was asking myself why. I told them to stop that discrimination. So they didn't tell me that he's a thief. They were just telling me that they don't want to work with him because he's somehow lazy and he doesn't want to work hard. But I asked them how. Yet this guy has just come here to look for jobs. So nobody told me. They just kept quiet and decided to tell me that, okay, if you want to give him a job, then it's fine. So I gave him a job. He worked here they used to come and daily. They are the people even who plowed this forest. See, it's been plowed. And they are the people who we used to create this walkway and plant the forest on either side. They're the people who did this job. This one that you see, and planting these trees that you are seeing here, these ones. So they really worked here for around a month or so. So after that one, of course, everybody went, and in a month or two, I heard that boy was caught stealing in a certain shop here that Austin works in. So this is what they usually do. They used to do. There were so many complaints that people are breaking into shops in our center up there. And how do they break in? There are not enough lights in that center, because it's just a center that is coming up. So there are no security lights. The security lights that are there are just bulbs of the shop, and those ones, it's like they sometimes they could go and steal them. So people even got tired of putting the security lights. So what they usually used to do is that they could come and you see, the shops are made of bricks and have not been plastered from the outside. So they could go at the back of the shops and demolish one brick like this. For this is stone, this is at least a little bit bigger. But the bricks, is almost half or a quarter of this size. So they demolish one, and then after assuming this block is removed, this place will remain a hole. And now the next brick will be weak. If this one is removed, the next one will be weak. If this one is removed, this one will be weak. So they create somehow like a hole, and then they use that hole to enter the shop. So after entering the shop, they steal whatever they wanted to steal, and then they go away. They carry whatever they can carry, and it used to be a habit and they used to do it when it's raining, until one day, in Kiswahili we say siku za mwizi ni 40. The days of a thief are numbered, and they are usually 40. So also on the 40th day, this guy was caught. It was raining, so he took the advantage of the rains, knowing that nobody could be walking in the rains to check or go anywhere. But apparently the rain just reduced, and people could hear him. The near a home that was near that shop, or near the center, people could hear him banging on the bricks, trying to demolish the house so that he can create a hole and get inside. So after that one, 2 people got out and went there. So when they went there, they found him and they arrested him, or they catched him. He was really beaten. He was beaten to near death, and then he was taken to the police station. Being taken to the police station, he was taken to court. After court, I don't know, I heard that he was given 1 year sentence in jail, but he was released on probation. I don't know what that means. He was to serve 1 year on probation, something like that. So after being released, of course, I heard I was around that time, but I went back to Nairobi. Then when I came back, I was just recording a video. I think that's the time when I was working on something. We were working on fixing the lights that were left with my electrician. So I came back and I started recording a video here. So when I started recording the video, I saw the boy coming. Remember, at this time now, he's been released, or he's under sentence of 1 year probation, something like that. The lawyers who are watching this video, you can tell me, or the advocates. So he was released, and when I started just recording the video here, I saw him coming down from there. Then I stopped the video. I stood here and talked to that boy for approximately 1 hour. I was speaking to him approximately, not 1 hour, but 2. Could even be 3. We stood here on this very post here. I remember I was leaning here. I talked to him and I advised him accordingly. Till people, because this is a road, you can see even some other people are walking there. They usually use this road. So people found me here talking to him. I was really talking to that guy. Gave him the advice of his life, because I'm good at that. So doing that one, I decided now to ask him. Baru Pina kakta ko tiyo, the time ya ko tiyo to nini. Utuom. So I decided to ask him. They are asking me for water. I'm telling them that I don't know if that tap is working. It's because of being too generous and letting people in my compound that led me to this problem. Stuff used to get lost here, and because of giving people too much access to my home. So I've closed the nini, because I don't want them to get used so much to coming and collecting water here. There is just some water source up there, just 100 meters from them, but of course this is nearer, too nearer. I just feel people should give me my space. So they have found that the taps are not, the water is not coming out, and they are leaving. Pump no ne okeloga wiye seche moko, makeloga shida seche moko. So they are leaving. So where was I? I talked to that boy here for around 2 hours, and decided to ask him, why do you usually steal? And he told me that his mom doesn't give him food, and mind you, he's 26, 27 years, somewhere around there. So sometimes he just goes to the shop to steal because he lacks, because of hunger. So I advised him, I gave him my number, I told him that I might not have much, but anytime you feel like you are so hungry that you are tempted to go and steal, just contact me, call me on that number, or text me, or send me a please call me. Tell me, Kevin, I'm super hungry, I really need something to eat. I gave him my number, and we talked and asked him that day, have you eaten anything today? He told me no. So I withdrew 300 shillings, that is Kenyan shillings, around $2-3, and gave it to him. Told him to go and have lunch, and told him that to imagine how sweet that food is. And after doing that, he should be aware that the next time it's gonna steal, we'll kill him and he'll never eat such as an amazing or sweet food. So we agreed and he left. Hardly 2 weeks, Austin came here because I had subscribed to Starlink, and he asked me, like, Kevin, you just subscribed to the Starlink recently, how comes it's not picking up? He had not known that the receiver has been cut. I think I have a short video of him returning it and I'll tell you how and what we did to make him do that. So Ossie asked me, he had not known that the receiver you see up there has been stolen, and I told him to restart. So he went, restarted the router several times, and there were no signal, the internet is not there. So the following day in the morning, when he was about to leave, is when he decided to look up there. And looking up there, and he saw just the cable, the receiver was not there. Then he called me, told me, hey, these people have stolen that receiver. And you might be asking yourself, how did he get up there? We have those 2 solar panels up there. They are for my water pump that I usually use to pump the water to that tank. So those solar panels, there's a time they were really problematic. They were giving us a lot of problems. The pump was not working well. So we used this ladder, this one here, to climb up there. So that ladder was in front of the house, and we had it lean on the roof. It's tall enough, or it's long enough, this one. So it was here because we used to climb up there, try to fix those panels when our water pump was giving us problems. So after using it, we left it there because we didn't have any idea that we used it here. Here was where the ladder was, here, because we could climb the top of the roof and go and clean those panels, try to change them, remove the cables and fix them again. Then we left it, and you see my receiver is just there. So that guy just saw, and the security lights were on. That's why I decided to fix more security lights, because the bulbs, these ones, I had 100 watts, those big security lights, but somehow due to power on and off, they got burnt. So we actually removed them. One was in front here, we removed them, and I bought some for my electrician is on the way coming back with them. I'm gonna have one big one facing this side, another big one facing the other side, another big one at the back of the house, another big one on this side. 100 watts each. It's gonna be this place is gonna be very, very, very bright at night. Like, that's what I want, because for these security bulbs, this one are just for around the house, and you know, I have one here, but the corner he used to there's no security bulb here, so he jumped over the fence. That's why I really need to work hard on weeding this fence so that it can grow as fast as it can, because as per now somebody can still jump over this fence. So he stepped on this fence. I think he stepped over here, according to what I heard. He stepped over here and jumped the other side. But once all these things have thorns, very sharp ones. It's only that they're still young. This one can't let you, and I think I should also be doing this. In maybe a year or so, this place will be inaccessible. Yeah, so another security bulb is here. So in between here, there's no bulb. So somehow it's a little bit dark. So the guy jumped, came with a knife, climbed, went and cut. It's something that probably took him a minute or two, and he was down and he fled. Now, after Austin telling me that one, this is now the Africanicity, or how African we are. He told me that there's a guy who has told him. I started looking for someone because here in Africa, if you're stealing from someone, you should really be mindful of who you're stealing from. I really love God, and He's my savior. But there are some times that you just decide to deal with earthly things the earthly way. So Austin told me that there's somebody who is somewhere who, if brought here, can help us get that thing back. Of course, using some miracles and stuff. So I was not believing because I've never done it. I've never seen something like that. But when I was young, somebody brought somebody's cows was stolen, and he brought such like a person, and that person made people eat grass. Those who stole from the guy, all of them were eating grass, and some of them ended up dying. So I told him, okay, if that person can help us, I didn't want to kill someone. So I said, if that person can help us get that Starlink, our receiver back, then bring him. I was not around. So they went there. This guy charged some little amount of money. Then they came the following day. He did his things around there, casting his spells and whatever he was doing. I don't know. I was not around. And then he told Austin that in 30 minutes time, that the router will be back. And he's somebody who is from far. Don't say that, oh, maybe that guy had an agreement with the person who stole. He even don't know that, but you've never seen him because he was brought from so far. Those things work, by the way. I really witnessed this time. So he told Austin that in 30 minutes time, that receiver will come through that gate. So we were asking ourselves, how will it be? How can it come? The receiver don't have legs to walk. So they left, and Austin was left here. He was not waiting for the receiver to come back. He was closing the doors and making his arrangements so that he can also leave. Hardly 20 minutes. The boy came through that gate, and I don't know how he knew Austin was at the back of the house, closing the door, because usually Austin uses the kitchen door to get out. So he was closing. So that guy came, and he was somehow shivering, shaking, and asked Austin, have you lost any stuff of yours in this compound? Austin asked him, just like a fool, trying to fool him, what could that be? And he told Austin, you have not lost any receiver, Wi-Fi, router? You didn't even know it's a router or receiver. He was selling it, he was calling it a router. Austin told, oh, I have lost that one. Then he told Austin, I want to bring it back, and don't tell anybody. Don't tell even Kevin, because he knows me, of course. I had talked to him, and even told him that if you ever try to steal anything in my home, I'll kill you. So Austin told him, okay, just go and bring it. Then Austin called people, because he wanted him to be arrested, and he couldn't do that by himself. So Austin called people over the phone, and people came. In just 2 minutes, this compound was full. How big you see it is. It was full of people. And if you want to know how these things, that truly these things work, people have, I don't know, I can call them the demons, or I don't know, or the spirits or whatever. If you want to know that they work, that guy was coming through that gate, carrying that thing on his hands, just like this, and he could see people are waiting for him to beat him. Instead of just putting that thing there and start running away, he came just walking through that gate up to this point with it and handed it over. Now people started beating him. Of course, he was beaten thoroughly. He was beaten, like beaten. But then I told them not to kill him, because I don't want to kill someone. But if I was around, I could have cut his fingers, because that one now, this is like, this guy will never stop stealing. So probably if you cut all these fingers, both left and right, he'll have no ability to hold something, because it's the fingers that are leading him to sin. If you don't have your fingers, how will you even hold something like that? So I asked those guys to cut his fingers, but they were afraid. Nobody was willing to. They just wanted to beat him to death. But cutting his fingers, after they heard that he's not gonna be killed, we just want to cut his fingers, they said no, we can't do that one. They told us okay. So we took him to the police. He slept there once. I decided to forgive him. I decided to release him because his parents really cried to me. Like, they told me, this guy is on probation. If he goes, he's our son. And I told him one thing, I'm going to release him, there's no problem. But what you should know is that this guy, you should just prepare a coffin for him. Because you are the people. Why do you even release a thief? Use money to release him. Maybe if he could survive when he's in prison, serve his sentence, whatever amount of time it was, he could have come back a reformed person. But every time this guy is like, I don't know if this is the third or how many times this guy is arrested, it's like the parents struggle so much so that he can be out. In the name of this is my, if that was my son, he could really serve his sentence. I can't struggle to release him, because now, what if he was killed here? Which one is better? Him being in prison so that he can one day come out a reformed person, or him being released the way they struggle to have him on probation, and then he steals again, and then he ends up being killed. So that guy returned the receiver. He was beaten, taken to police. His parents called me crying a lot that this time if he goes to prison, he won't come back because he was already on probation. Told him it's okay, your parents, you have that pain, I understand, but what I can tell you is that you are the people who are encouraging this guy to keep doing whatever he's doing. Because how can somebody steal and you still be there campaigning or fighting for him? If you're fighting for him to not be killed, it's okay. But fighting for him not to be taken to jail, yet he's been stealing even from them. He just decides, wakes up, takes a goat, goes and sell. He then goes to sell it. And then they are fighting for him. So I released him. I've never seen him ever since I came back. I told their parents that I'm releasing him in one condition. He should never step on my land. Because the day I'll see him on my land, I don't know what I'll do. But what I'll do won't be good. So I've never seen him. I've heard that, they're trying to reform him, taking him to church almost every Sunday. He's been ordered not to leave the home, so he just wakes up, goes to the farm and comes back. I don't know if that will work, honestly. But that's how we got to recover our receiver or our receiver. These things happen, especially in homes. The Africanicity in us can help us recover things that we've lost. I know most of you won't believe. Some of you will, because they come from almost the same places or the same kind. But somebody who is a scholar, maybe watching from America, how will just be asking themselves, how is that possible? Yeah, it's possible. I think I'll put a video at the beginning of how this guy was bringing back the receiver. Thank you so much, guys. Kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel, like this video, comment, share. Let's meet in the next one.